Hey Internet, Eric here. Got a tag video for you guys, or a tag video response today, and it is also going to be used as a contest entry over on the Bronco Juggalo channel. I'll put the link down in the description below. This is my response to the Stephen King tag by The Bill Show, presented by Bronco Juggalo. Bronco Juggalo is I don't know how, he's less than a year old channel wise, and I've slowly been going through his videos. Really, he's got some real good opinions on certain horror films. He and I might not agree on a lot of things, but it makes for good conversation. I'm entering this video into that contest, and I will also put the link of that specific video of his in the description below, so in case anyone watching wants to enter along as well. I believe you have until June 30th, so don't be like me and wait till the last minute. All right, we have 8 questions all pertaining to Stephen King. Here we go. Number 1, what is your favorite Stephen King movie? I got 2 categories. I got horror and non-horror. Number 1, non-horror, definitely is The Green Mile. A lot of people pick Shawshank Redemption, which is another fantastic film, but I put the Green Mile above that because I love the performances more. Sam Rockwell is fantastic as Bill, one of the villains. Love the psychotic Percy Wetmore character, and then just Michael Clarke Duncan as the sympathetic John Coffey. Bittersweet ending, wonderful film. And then my favorite horror Stephen King film is also my favorite horror movie of all time is Pet Sematary. It was one of my first reviews here on this channel. Go check it out in my Stephen King playlist. But short but sweet, I'll just say it's still one of those films that if you gotta watch it in the dark, and you still get that creepy feeling to it every time you watch it. It's got a great theme. What would you do, if you were given the power of resurrection, but you knew what it did, in the end, would you still do it? A father and his loss for his child, just the evil, creepy stuff. And then, of course, Fred Gwynne as Judd Crandall, the creepy shit with Zelda, wonderful stuff. Still a fantastic movie. So favorite Stephen King movie, Pet Sematary in the horror genre, and then Green Mile, non-horror. Number 2, what is the worst Stephen King movie? There's a lot of good ones that could go here for being bad. Maximum Overdrive. I've seen it once. Don't remember it being very memorable. A lot of the Children of the Corn movies are very bad, but I don't know if we're dealing with sequels. Off the top of my head, I'm going Langoliers. I saw it when it first came out as a miniseries. Hated it then. Rewatched it when it first came out on home video. Hated it then. And then my buddy brought it over one night. Of course, he says he wasn't going to pay money for it, so he burned it to a disc. We watched it, and goddamn did that fucking suck. It's so boring. It's a mini-series, so I think without commercials, it's like 3 fucking hours long. The performances by everybody is horrible, especially Bronson Pinchot. And then we get all this build up to what the Langoliers are. Don't do this, or the Langoliers will get you. Don't do that, or the Langoliers will get you and eat you, and blah, blah, blah. And I know it's no budget, basically, because it's TV miniseries. But goddamn, that was one of the worst reveals of all time. All this fucking build up, all this foreplay, and then when you finally get to it, it's just like you're done. One and done. They looked like these flying fucking meatball turds with teeth. Horrible fucking movie. And I've seen like The Mangler 2. Worst Stephen King movie off the top of my head is definitely The Langoliers. Boring as shit, and then a bad fucking payoff. Number 3, what Stephen King book would you like to see made into a movie? That's tough because there's been a lot of fucking Stephen King movies. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say, because he did say you can use Richard Bachman stuff, I'm going to say the Regulators. It really cool in the same, it's got the same characters from Desperation, but in like an alternate universe. Definitely the Regulators. Super, super violent, super intense. Horror aspects, science fiction aspects. I think there's some biblical aspects to it, supernatural aspects to it. It was a great read. I finished it like within a month. I loved The Regulator, so good, and I'm really surprised we haven't had any type of adaptation to that. And it brings back the character of Tack, which was in Desperation, the spirit of Tack. Let's see here. Number 4. What Stephen King character would you like to be and why? Well, considering the fact that all the hell that Stephen King puts his characters through, I don't know if I'd want to be any of them. At least the heroes. Because the torment and the torture that they go through, even, he's got his twist endings that you don't want to happen to you. So personally, hero-wise, antagonist-wise, is it antagonist, protagonist? I don't fucking know. I wouldn't want to be any of them. So I'd probably have to pick a villain. If I had to pick a villain, maybe I would probably pick Randall Flagg. He's not as, well, I was going to say psychotic. He's not as evil and demonic as Pennywise, but he's still, still a villain. He's got all, I love the mystical powers. He's basically a fucking wizard, and I guess I'd be him, all the things that he could do with just like the snap of his fingers, the move of his hands. And he seems like a really cool fucking character. So, yeah. A lot of people would say Roland from the Dark Tower series. I haven't read the Dark Tower series. I did like Roland in the Dark Tower movie that a lot of people hated. And there you go. Man in Black from Dark Tower series. I loved him in the Dark Tower movie played by Matthew McConaughey. Let's see here. What do we got now? To the number 5. What's the most disturbing scene in a Stephen King movie? I don't know. I don't know if disturbing is the right way or the right word, because I don't get disturbed very often, at least Stephen King stuff. But maybe I'll just do wincing, or like, scenes that really make it go like that, or holy shit moments. So if that disqualifies me, oh well. There's quite a few scenes. The scene in Pet Sematary where, there's spoilers in this video, obviously, when Judd gets his Achilles tendon cut. That sits with you for a long time. I won't spoil this, but the ending to The Mist, that really hits you right in the fucking chest. And it sticks with you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with or you know what? What's really disturbing? I find the whole Timmy Baterman scene, that whole story that Judd is telling the story of Timmy Baterman to Lewis about the first person that he knew of that came back from the Micmac grounds. That scene left an impression with me as a kid, and it still kind of creeps me out to this day. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say the Timmy Baterman scene from Pet Sematary. Who's your favorite Stephen King villain? Oh, Annie Wilkes, hands down. Annie Wilkes from Misery, hands down. Loved her in the book. Loved her so much in the movie portrayed by Kathy Bates. She is the sweetest woman in the world until that switch is flipped, and she becomes your worst nightmare, because she tries not to swear. She seems like laundry's going if you hear that. She tries not to swear, for the most part. She tries to be nice and sweet when she's in public, but when she's got Paul Sheldon strapped to a bed and holding him hostage, this chick is dangerous. And what's really spooky is when she's doing the hobbling scene, when she's breaking his ankles, she's talking like it's just another day in the park. She says, "Don't worry, sweetie, it'll be over soon." And then after she fucking snaps his 2 ankles, she's like, "God, I love you." And then it just goes progressively worse. favorite Stephen King villain because she's one of the most scary, because she's also based in reality. She's not a supernatural being. Annie Wilkes. Favorite Stephen King hero, number 7. Hero. I don't know. Roland was really cool in the Dark Tower movie. I'm going to go Judd Crandall. I keep going back to Pet Sematary. Even though he doesn't survive the movie, he is a wonderful character. He's a hero because he tries to do the right thing in his mind. Ellie's cat is run over. He tries to do the right thing. Take Lewis to the burial ground, bury the cat so it will come back. He looks over this family as a father figure. Even more so in the book, Lewis didn't have a father, or his father died early. So Lewis and Judd have this, father-son type bond. And then when Judd knows he fucked up and Gage is back, he tries to right that wrong. Great character. Love Judd Crandall. Last one. What's your favorite Stephen King book and why? Once again, going to Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary is the only Stephen King book that I have read more than 2 times. I'm now challenging myself to read all of his books in order. I'm on Firestarter now, and I can't wait to get to Pet Sematary to read it for a 3rd time. That creepy feeling. There's more creepy stuff in the book that is in the movie. It's very chilling. The stuff with Zelda, the Wendigo, which is not in the movie. Gage is much more demonic and violent when he comes back. Just the stuff he says. Like in the book, Judd is married, and his wife dies. And then when Gage comes back, and right before he kills Judd, he talks about this, how he met up with Judd's wife in hell, and he's talking about how much she was a whore. It's really vulgar, disgusting stuff. And then you realize, remember, this kid is just 2 years old. Lots of crossing the line moments, lots of good will you play God moments, don't mess with nature moments, what would you do moments. And what's great is Stephen King thought he crossed the line. He didn't think the book would ever be published, so he put it away for a long time. Needed to finish a contract with, I think it was Doubleday, so he's like, here you go, publish it. And it's probably one of his most popular books other than It or the Dark Tower series. Followed up maybe by Christine. Christine is another really great book. Great characters, great development, really creepy stuff. A good possession book, but hands down, Pet Sematary. And that's it. All right. This is my entry into the Stephen King tag contest over on the Bronco Juggalo channel, presented by Bill. Long story with Bill. But again, I will put Bronco's channel in the link below. I will put the specific video in the link below in case you want to enter. I know Lisa Loves, who is another YouTuber that I really enjoy. Don't worry, Lisa, I'm getting to your werewolf tag soon. But yeah, this was fun. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Got all of his books, got a lot of his movies. So anyway, Bronco, if you ever want to tag me again in a video, be glad to do it. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, all that shit. Cheers, and good luck to the other people in the contest.